On the Kansas frontier, a family ran a roadside inn where travelers stopped for the night. Some never left, and when the truth came out, the family had already vanished. The 1870s. The Osage Trail cut across the open Kansas prairie, a lonely road west for pioneers and drifters alike. Out on that trail, a family called the Benders built a small cabin, an inn, a store, a place to rest. There were 4 of them: a stern old father, a cold mother, a sullen son, and a daughter named Kate. Kate was young and magnetic, and she claimed a strange gift. She could speak with the dead. People came for miles to hear her, which meant a steady stream of travelers stopped at that cabin. Inside, the one room was split by a heavy canvas curtain, a wall of cloth down the middle. A guest would be seated at the table for supper, with his back to that curtain. It looked like simple frontier hospitality. It was something else entirely. The travelers who never left were the ones riding alone, with money in their coats and good horses at the rail. A movement behind the curtain, a trapdoor in the floor, and then the trail simply forgot them. Later, under cover of night, the family carried what they'd done out to the apple orchard behind the house. The travelers' horses and money became the Benders. Their names vanished from the world. Over about 2 years, traveler after traveler disappeared along that lonely stretch of trail. People began to whisper. Men rode onto the Osage Trail and were never seen riding off it. But the frontier was vast and lawless, and the missing were strangers just passing through. Then, in 1873, the wrong man disappeared. Dr. William York, a respected physician, vanished while traveling the trail alone. But his brother was a powerful man, a state senator named Alexander York, and Colonel York would not rest until he learned what had happened to his brother. He gathered a search party and retraced his brother's route, farm by farm, cabin by cabin, and the trail led him to a small, lonely inn on the prairie, the home of the Bender family. York questioned them. The Benders were calm, polite, unhelpful, and afraid. A 10-teen theat. Suspicion settled over the cabin. The neighbors agreed to search every homestead on the trail, but the Benders had felt the net drawing tight around them. When the neighbors finally rode out to the inn, they found the animals starving and the cabin empty. The family was gone, fled in the night, leaving nearly everything behind. And when the searchers stepped inside, a terrible smell rose from beneath the floorboards. They lifted the trapdoor. The cellar below was stained dark with what had happened there. Then they turned to the orchard behind the house and began to dig. One by one, the ground gave up the missing, including Dr. York. At least 11 travelers had been murdered and buried in that quiet field. The trail's disappearances finally had an answer, but the killers were already gone. Word raced across the country. The newspapers gave them a name, the Bloody Benders. A nationwide manhunt spread across the frontier. Rewards were posted. Posses rode out, and they found nothing. The Benders had vanished as completely as their victims once had. Some said a vigilante posse caught the family on the plains and killed them in silence. Others swore the Benders slipped away west and lived out their lives under new names. For years, women were arrested claiming to be Kate or Ma. Not one could ever be proven. More than a century later, no one knows what became of the family that killed on the Kansas Trail and simply disappeared. If this case stayed with you, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to the Backcountry Files so the next cold case finds you. Because some cases don't close, they just go cold.